So you want to hear the difference between a real amp and a plugin? Stay tuned for this unfair comparison. Guitar freaks and anoraks, lovers of the better sounding gear, thanks for tuning in and welcome to Hilko Guitar's YouTube channel. Last week I received this device. I'm looking for a new interface as my relatively new computer only got Thunderbolt 3 ports, and so far I'm pleasantly surprised. Now, just by mentioning guitar amp, real guitar amp versus simulation, I do realize I'm opening a really nasty can of worms. So I really hope the digital police nor the analog detectives are not gonna trace me down, knock on my door and arrest me. I did some research about this interface. By the way, it's a Universal Audio Arrow. It's their base model. It only works with Thunderbolt 3, so you don't need an extra power supply. I wanted to hear the near zero latency monitoring and check out the guitar plugins that everybody's raving about. After unpacking the box and installing the necessary Duha, I opened up the Marshall Plexi Classic. Plugged in a guitar, and what a disappointment. It was sounding like there was a lack of definition, some weird phasing problem going on, and everything was distorting in a really bad way. It was sounding crap. So I tweaked the settings, took another guitar, changed the jack to jack cable. No difference at all. So after a while I had a brilliant idea of unplugging everything, restarting the computer, and eureka, we were in business. So I posted a picture on Facebook and Instagram about the gear I was checking out. And one of my friends, he mentioned the Fender 55 Tweed Deluxe Plugin. It's brilliant, he said. So I went online, downloaded the mother of all amps in a digital version. The Tweed Deluxe, also known as a 5E3, is a true classic in the guitar amp world. I'm not going to give you a history lesson here. If you're interested in that, I would like to direct you to 5 Watt World's YouTube channel. He made a brilliant video about the Fender Deluxe. I will leave a link to that video here below. After installing the demo version of the plugin, which you can use for 14 days and 36 seconds I believe, I started playing my guitar with my headphones on. People, it's sounding really good for a digital version. When you play the thing, it feels like playing a real amplifier. It's very responsive when you use the volume or tone control on your guitar. Let's check it out. Now, when I was checking out all the possibilities you've got with this virtual amp, scrolling through all the presets, the microphones, the combinations you can make, I totally lost track of time. I spent over 2 hours of noodling on my guitar, which is a really good sign when you're checking out gear. But it was late at night and time to hit the sack. I was laying in bed thinking about the past few hours and I was pretty impressed. But I was wondering, can I compare it to the real deal? Unfortunately, I don't have the Fender Tweed Deluxe 55 laying around here. My name is not Joe Bonamassa, it's not Neil Young, nor am I a lottery winner. But I do have a pretty nice sounding 5E3. Now, a Neumann U67 is also missing from my collection, but a Rode NTK tube microphone is a pretty good and a lot cheaper alternative. So yes, I can compare the two. Now here we are, an unfair comparison. I don't have the real gear. I don't have a professional studio. I didn't spend years of fiddling about with the mics and polishing everything up. I just placed the amp in the room, a microphone in front of it, checked it, tweaked it a bit. 15 minutes later, I was done. And it's unfair because a digital amp versus an analog thing, that can't be right, can it? Well, let's check it out. Oh, by the way, the amp settings are pretty flat. Tone and bright volume are at 12 o'clock. Normal volume is at 0. I'm using the number 1 bright input. Both amps are set exactly the same. Okay, the signal path. From the guitar, I'm going to the Morley A and B box. Output A is going straight to the Hi Z input of the interface. Output B of the Morley is going to the amp. Then the microphone picks up the noise and sends it back to channel 2 of the interface. I'm recording Logic Pro. In the digital world, I'm using the Neumann. For the real amp, I'm using the NTK, which is sitting 22 centimeters, about 8 inches away from the speaker due to the proximity effect. I better stop ranting now. Let's start with a little bit of dirtiness on the bridge pickup. Try to figure out which amp is which. It ain't easy. Oh, by the way, if you like to do a little quiz, go and check out my previous video. I will reveal the results later. Okay, the first track was digital. The second track was a real amplifier. I feel the digital track has a rounder, more polished bass and is missing a bit of je ne sais quoi or a vibe in that region. The plugin is sounding a tad more nasal. I'm missing a wee bit of grit, dirtiness and filth. The real amplifier is sounding more open, but both of the amps are sounding great and are perfectly workable. I think it's a matter of flavoring. Now let's switch to the middle position and dial down the guitar volume a bit. Nay bad sounding in it. The first clip was digital, the second clip was the real amplifier. Now I think the digital clip is sounding ever so slightly more muffled, like there is a silk sheet over it. Nothing like a thick blanket or anything like that, but the real amplifier is sounding more lively to me. Now let's keep the volume down and switch to the neck position. Okay, it was the same as before. First the digital one, then the real amplifier. I think the digital one is sounding a bit more woolly, like a bit of a hipster. And the real amplifier is sounding like a bad motherfucker, more direct. Oh, I forgot to mention that the hardest part in making an amp simulation is the overdriven sound. And I think they nailed this really, really good. Now, don't get me wrong here. I don't want to bash in the Universal Audio plugin. I think it sounds great. They spent years of work on this plugin and you can definitely hear it. For the money this thing costs, you can't find a better sounding 5E3. The possibilities are huge. All the settings, the microphones, the placement of the mic, it's just one click away. You can play it with your headphones on if you don't want to disturb your family or neighbors in the middle of the night. You can travel with it in just your computer bag. I think it's the best simulation I played so far. I'm sold. If you like this video, please subscribe. If you want to get notified when a new video is uploaded, hit the tinkly bell icon. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and please remember we are talking flavors here. Every person is different and's got a different taste. So please be nice to each other, stay safe, and I'll hope to see you the next time. Oh, by the way, the results of the quiz. Amp A was a real amp, Amp B was a digital one. I know most people answered B. So this proves how good this amp simulation is. Or it proves how bad my amp sounds.